Today we are joined by the East Midlands Trustee from the u3a movement here in Ravenshead, and we're pleased to welcome Jean Hogg, who has some associations with Ravenshead, I gather, from the past, and had a little bit to do with how we came about, really, almost, 9 years ago or so? So, Jean, where did you first get to be involved here and really kick things into place that resulted in where we are today?
Well, yeah, I lived here for a long time. It's where my children grew up. But by that time, I had moved away. I had become chair of the u3a in Southwell, and I got involved in the Nuts Network, which was really active in launching new u3as. And having lived here, I knew it would be a place where one would be really popular. So we launched it, and hundreds of people just turned up to the launch. It was the most amazing day. It was wonderful.
So here in Ravenshead, we have a lot to thank you for.
Well, possibly somebody else would have done it if I hadn't, but it was a really rewarding thing to have been involved in. Yeah, and to come here today, and see where it is 9 years later, it's just wonderful.
So you had some old friends in the village that joined you and saw the vision.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't all immediately convinced, but they.
Well, that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
So, in your time, obviously, you've been part of the u3a for a little bit of time. Tell us a bit about your journey and where you are today, and the kind of things that have been the pleasures that you've been able to enjoy along the way, and a little bit about the role that you have as trustee.
Okay, well, as I say, I joined Southwell u3a. Had been going about a year when I retired, and I joined it and joined the committee fairly quickly, and became chair fairly soon after that. And it was a time of enormous growth. So the u3a, was really thriving, and that was good. And there was a sort of bit of personal life came in then, that I met the person who was then regional trustee, and he became very significant in my life, so it changed my life completely. And he was involved in setting up the network and launching new u3as, and I got involved really through that. And we used to run workshops, and we launched around the same time as Ravenshead some really big successful, so Radcliffe and Beeston were launched about the same time, coming up to their 10th anniversary. So it was a fantastic time for the movement. I guess lots of people coming up to retirement and realising what an amazing organisation u3a is and what it can offer people in their retirement. So then, 3 years ago, I was asked to consider being the trustee, which is a national role. So there's an umbrella organisation called the Third Age Trust, and each u3a, though it runs itself, they affiliate and obviously agree to the principles of the movement to do with self-help. That's the crucial one, really, that we are a self-help organisation. And obviously that charity has a board, and so an important part of my role as trustee is to be on the board, on the national board, helping to make sure that runs efficiently, effectively, to support the u3a movement. And the other role is in the region, supporting 116 u3as across the East Midlands.
Wow.
So,
Didn't know there were that many across the East Midlands.
Yeah, there were indeed. Yeah, in fact, 2 have just merged, so in some ways one fewer than there were before, but
but stronger.
So thousands and thousands of members.
Don't you find it interesting that a lot of people have heard about the WI, the Women's Institute, and the u3a is in fact much larger, but less well known?
Yeah.
How do you think that sort of stacks up in the current world, and in terms of how do we get the message out more effectively to make people aware of the u3a as an organisation, but specifically within their locality, their individual local charity, the u3a in their village or town?
Well, obviously what you're doing here today is a really important part of that. This is the first u3a day nationally, and clearly it's because it's come at this weird time we're living through. Not every u3a has done it, but most u3as are planning an event of some sort over the next few months, even if they're not doing anything today. So today is about that, raising awareness, because we're the best kept secret, aren't we? And the growth, the enormous growth that happened sort of a decade, perhaps 5 or 6 years ago, was all driven by word of mouth. And we're very aware that we need to extend that knowledge to a wider part of society, so that everybody knows about it, and everybody knows that they can come and have their lives made so much better. Yeah.
Yes, it's interesting. People, let's say, are working later in life these days. They're working harder. And what do you think that being part of the u3a in retirement brings to those who are just coming up to that stage in life where they are contemplating the next step?
Well, it fills your life if you want it to. It can be as much or as little as you want it to. But, it enables you to learn new things that you might never have thought about in your life before, to do new activities that you may never have done, or it's the opportunity to develop interests you've had all your life, because u3a, you can engage in whatever activity and interest groups that you want to, and if there isn't one in your u3a, you can set one up and get it going and spread the word to other members. So, and also, of course, the important thing is that through doing all these activities, we all make new friends. We get to know loads of new people. And, loneliness, it's a really important issue, isn't it? Not just for our age range, but in society as a whole. And we know there is lots of evidence that u3a has really made a difference and prevents people feeling so lonely. So it's that double whammy, of having something to engage your brain in, or your body in, or to do whatever activities, but to do it with new friends or old friends, whichever you want.
Okay, well, firstly, I want to say thank you for visiting us here in Ravenshead on National u3a Day, and obviously being part of this live interview. And realistically, the work you've done within the East Midlands has been really significant over the last 3 years. Okay,
Well, thank you.
Are there any special highlights from your point of view?
Gosh, my highlights. I mean, obviously, over a year now has been under these weird conditions. I have loved visiting. I tend to attend network meetings, so the counties across the East Midlands all have a network where committee members can get together. That's always wonderful to hear what's going on, both through the networks and through individual u3as. So I have really enjoyed that. We've been planning a regional conference. We've been planning it almost since I came into this role. Of course, it still hasn't happened. We're still hoping to have a face-to-face conference at the end of September. But we had a virtual event last October, and I was very proud of that, actually, because we've all been on this, not you, but most of us have been on this real technological sort of learning curve, and to achieve that and have nearly 100 people join us for a few hours, that was something to feel proud of. So lots and lots of interesting things I've done, to be honest.
Well, it's great you've joined us today. Thank you for spending time with us here, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of National u3a Day, wherever that takes you in the county, or even the whole of the East Midlands. I don't know how far you're travelling today. But,
No, not anywhere else. No, just come here today. But it's been really pleasurable. Thank you so much for asking me. It's been good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.